on point with that Dark Seer. Now, I don't know if that was the case the entire way through, of course, but at least for that last fight and a half, it felt like he was like very ready to handle whatever. You know, like it especially the vacuum wall over the cliff in the triangle. That looked like he was just top notch.
So, TV's banned out. Exactly. So, how do FlyToMoon want to approach that? Are they going to open Venge again? You know, we've seen them open Oracle before as well. They're tiny still in the pool if they want to just go for that themselves first this time. So, it might be a little bit of a switcheroo here. But NiP still do have that last pick at the end of the first phase and at the end of the game. So, they might do something similar to before with where they pick their core and then just protect it with 3 bans. So, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to now piece together what I think they might want. I mean, Ninjas of Pajamas, again, we talked about how at the beginning of the tournament, we probably wouldn't have them sitting in this spot right here, right now. But to be quite honest, I think they've looked really good. The laning was a little rough in the last game. They were behind, and I think it came down to, like, we saw Iceberg die, and one of the last phrases I heard you say before I went and did other things was Iceberg has died 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
And it felt like within those 4 deaths, he really hadn't accomplished much. And he had picked up that Orchid at a decent timing. Like, he picked up the Orchid and then tried to play aggressive and paid dearly for it. And that really threw the game in Ninjas of Pajamas' favor.
I mean, the problem he had was that when he got the Orchid, he kept getting caught by Avalanche. And obviously, you can't ball lightning away because of the small animation when you're Avalanche because of the constant mini stuns coming through. Yeah, and it caught him quite a lot that game. It was sad to see, but also for Iceberg at the same time, you have to be aware that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
the fact that it happens before Tiny gets Blink as well
is massive.
It's huge for Era. He played really well last game. And yeah, definitely my MVP. Always finding the pickoffs.
So Ninjas of Pajamas, they go to the Rubik, which we were seeing banned, but you know, obviously the first 4 bans for most of these games has been Phoenix, Bat, Rubik, IO. And now that they're giving the respect ban over to the TB, that leaves open the Rubik. What does this open up for Ninjas of Pajamas? Because why is Rubik, for people who don't really understand why he's been this first phase ban, what's giving him this kind of priority on that? Okay,
so the way you should look at it is that Rubik's the most picked hero in Pro Dota history. Like, without a doubt, okay? The hero is never bad. Like, Lift is instant cast, like, as a stun. That's crazy. And it's an AoE stun wherever it lands. It's a really strong laner, because you have Fade Bolt as well. Arcane Supremacy is one of the most ridiculous skills in the game, I'm sure. Like, anything you steal just getting amped up, and the spell damage as well is crazy. Yeah. That's the thing, like, Rubik doesn't have any innate flaws as a hero. Yes, it's not great at some things, but whatever. But it's always going to be okay, at least. And Era loves this hero. It might be his favorite, actually. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me. But they go Doom though on FlyToMoon. So obviously, we were talking about this yesterday. The CIS teams with Doom, they're so good with this hero. They have the flexibility to play it 2, 3. I'm pretty sure Roger's played it 4 in the past as well. So, because haven't we seen General play Bat with, like, Roger playing Doom before? I think we've cast that.
Yeah, I think we did in the last season, right?
Yeah, I want to say so. So, I mean, NiP, they go for this live stealer. We saw this first phase banned against them yesterday, and we saw Viking first phase earlier. Obviously, didn't work out for Viking as they exited the tournament, but NiP also really like this hero. So, I don't mind this at all. I'm glad to see them ban the Ench, though. I think Misha was really good on that hero last game.
Destructive, yeah.
And it wasn't even the lane that we saw, usually being like the lane-dominating Ench that's been difficult to play against. It felt like everything after the lane was still really good from him. So, yeah. Not surprised to see it banned out on that Bloodseeker as well, obviously.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Bloodseekers and a lot of just good Bloodseeker games. Going back to the Enchantress, like you said, it wasn't even that good of a lane, but towards like the mid game, it was so good from Misha. I mean, the Enchantress was just outputting so much damage with just the impetus shots coming through, and it felt like for the most part, he was kind of being ignored. Like, I watched that fight in the triangle, and it was just like, impetus shots coming through and nobody going after this Enchantress and outputting so much damage. And
because she went Dragonlance as well. Ench is one of those heroes, if you don't touch her, you know, Ench just goes crazy. And absolute shock. Misha loves Ench and Chen, by the way. That's probably something we should mention. So if he doesn't get his Ench, back to Chen.
Yeah, get the Chen, and you know, we'll see where they go from here, because it's Chen, Rubik, Lifestealer needing a mid as well as an offlaner. You know, what are you looking for in terms of being able to activate this Lifestealer? You know, what right now looks like the hero to be your vehicle? Because with a Doom, it's probably not the Storm. It's probably not someone who's very reliant and potentially in trouble if they get muted by this Doom. Like, I think it could be a problem.
I thought they might consider putting the Doom as the 4 to match up against Chen. But, I mean, Iceberg plays Wind Ranger as well, so it is still flexible for them. But I imagine it's likely to be Doom 3, Wind Ranger 4 at the moment. I think you want to lane this Doom against the Chen. So just eat the creeps whichever he takes over.
Yeah. It could potentially, I mean, it could go a bunch of ways. We talked about how much this Doom has just been so versatile in like the 2-3-4, but at the same time, it could be 2 or 4 on the Windrunner. It could end up being a 2 Windrunner, 3 Doom, for all we know. And I like this. I like when drafts have this flexibility.
There's so many heroes like that at the moment, though. You know, the Tinies, the Wind Rangers. We talked about this yesterday again. You know, Doom, Zeus is another one as well. Historically, that's been like that.
And there's the Underlord. We've been seeing that wave clear, mobility with the Dark Rift, or really just an escape with the Dark Rift. And we've watched either Yules or Radavetos come through with the Pit of Malice. And if you end up happening to get a Yules and a Clumsy Net, a lot of heroes have trouble getting out of the pit.
Yeah. And how many times have we seen this lane combination already, Underlord Rubik? You know, you just shove the wave in constantly with Fadebolt and Firestorm. Doesn't even matter if your lane matchup's difficult because you're just shoving the lane towards them anyway. It feels really good.
It feels like it feels like the old Centaur Rubik lane, where we were seeing that a lot and how powerful that lane was. It feels like similar to that, you know?
I'd also say at the moment it's really difficult for them to utilize this Doom like they want to on FlyToMoon, because NIP, they now have the sustainability from the Chen to keep people alive, but they also have Dark Rift on the Underlord. And it's similar to Centaur in the sense as well that, you know, whenever you used to get doomed, Centaur would just stampede that person away out of the fight. And it's similar with Underlord as well, where if somebody gets doomed up, you can just Dark Rift and reset and just go again. And you know that the next time they're not going to have Doom. So I think this Underlord pick, we saw Sableye own with it yesterday, gets the chance again. I don't know what they pick here on FlyToMoon. I really don't. I think they have to pick their one, but I'm really unsure with what they go with.
I think giving up their mid might be a problem. So yeah, I think they have to go for the one. And they go Sark. I kind of like Sark here. You know, has the Shadow Dance, has the save from the Oracle. I think Ninjas of Pajamas need something to get on top of this Oracle and make sure that he can't be important in these fights.
Right. They need like the Void Spirits, the Embers, those kinds of heroes, don't they?
Yeah. So. But are the Voids, are the Void Spirits and the Ember Spirits too susceptible to losing their strengths if they are to get doomed?
Yeah, potentially, but like we talked about, they have the reset potential with the Underlord. They've got the Chen as well. There's lots of options for them to deal with the Doom already. So,
because I was thinking, you know, what if you went something like DK, someone who's not as reliant of getting like all those slights off and all those jumps in. He buys a Blink Dagger. You've got Blink Dragon Tail. You're very tanky. That can get the Lifestealer in there, and get to the back lines if you find the proper opening with the Blink. I
mean, DK hasn't really been a hero for these EU CIS teams recently. They've really it's fell out of favor with them massively. I know the Chinese teams still like it a little bit.
Yeah,
the EU teams prefer to just not pick it at all. It's not necessarily to say it's a bad hero. They just prefer other things right now, which is fine. They need some burst damage at the moment on FlyToMoon. They need ways of getting through this Underlord, because at the moment, I think they have real damage issues in their lineup until Wind Ranger gets like MKB. So I don't necessarily know what that has to be. I like the Timber ban from Ninjas, because we saw that once today already against Underlord Lifestealer.
Back to the Pangolier.
I think they'll play Doom 4 here. and Pango 3, and put the Wind Ranger mid.
I was almost thinking Wind Ranger 4, Pango mid, Doom Stealth 3.
Yeah. I mean, it could be either. And it's going to depend on what they pick as their mid matchup here on Nip.
Yeah.
And for them, it's difficult because they don't know the matchup either, because it could be one of 3 things. It could be Doom, Wind Ranger, or Pangolier. They could all play 2, 3, and 4.
Is there a hero that does best against all 3 of those heroes? Like, is there one hero that you can think of off the top of your head?
I think they need to think about what they need as a lineup themselves. And I think they need some magic burst potential to try and get through this Slark. And also, they need some gap close for the Oracle, sorry, like you were saying before. Mm-hmm. So I look at something like Void Spirit as potentially being an option. What else? What other magic heroes? Maybe like SF or something might be really interesting. I don't know if Supreme wants to play it, but there's the magic. Okay.
I heard the heavy thump sound, and for a second I was just like, DK for real? I can't believe I just did this. But it's Listrak, so different cosmetics doesn't even look close to the DK, but has a stun. It doesn't get to the backlines though. Like, how are they getting to the Oracle?
I think it does, and it's one of these here. Like, you just run in. Like, what's he scared about? I don't. When he gets BKB this game, he just runs in, and even when Slark presses what's it called, Shadow Dance, he has the AOE damage that goes through it anyway. And they have a really fast tempo lineup. If you look at Ninja's lineup, Lifestealer, Underlord, Lesh hits 20 minutes. They're running at you with a 10 mech. They're just gonna go straight at your face. And FlyToMoon, they have a good lineup at fighting themselves, but I don't know whether Slark's going to get the time he needs this game to really build up his damage. I still think they lack big. I still think they have massive damage problems with their lineup, especially for these 3 tanky cores: Lifestealer, Underlord, Lesh. Yeah. I think they need to come out ahead in their lanes. It's going to be Doom mid, actually, and they're going to put the Wind Ranger 4. And General is playing the 3 Pango.
Oh, I got that part right.
Okay. I think I prefer Nip's lineup. But, again, I don't think it's massively one-sided.
Yeah, I feel like Nip is on a timer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I don't think that they're on like this heavy timer. I just think there's a time where they're going to be very strong in the early mid-game-ish part, and then there's going to be a part where I feel like they might be on their heels, and then like ultra late game, it could come back and be even again. Like, I don't think it's like a set timer. If you miss it, you lose.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree. Just because it gets to late game, I don't think they're outscaled. But Slark, I feel like Slark will eventually become the strongest hero in the game. It depends whether he can get there. And like whether he gets the farm to be the strongest hero in the game. I honestly don't think FlyToMoon played that well last game. I think they allowed themselves to get caught and played fights really poorly, especially in comparison to yesterday. So, we'd like to see them play a little bit better, but again, Nip, I like their lineup. I think this game looks really good for them.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to see a bit more of an action-packed game, and I feel like this one probably will be. No, I look at the 6 cores. Yeah, true. I look at the 6 cores in this game, though, and I'm like, I can't see a huge amount of split pushing being done. Like that mutual high five there. That was nice.
Yeah. It's like when they touch gloves in the UFC.
I will also say as well that Roger, I felt like did almost nothing last game. He felt really underwhelming on that Earth Split. So, you know how we talked about Misery before? Yeah, I'd also like to see a lot more from Roger this game. Because you can't get complacent now that you've joined the roster permanently. That's not how it works.
You still have to do what you did to get here.
The battle begins.
I'm wondering if, if these lanes go so well for Ninjas in Pajamas, or if they go well enough, how fast they're going to push down these buildings and kind of make it frustrating for Slark inside, on his side of the river. Because you're going to be working with Dialogue Edict. You're going to try and pressure these towers. I feel like we'll see a heavy push come in from Ninjas in Pajamas in the earlier, mid part of the game. Ooh, going after Misha. General Roger always want to fly all here, and first blood is in the hands of FlyToMoon.
Amazing. I really like to think that wasn't lag, honestly. Lag PL? There's no PL in this game, VTune. It's definitely a BM pause, guys. My stupid brain realizes, my investigating, that this is puppy pause.
Puppy pause.
Yeah, I really like that play, though. I like when teams do this, when they keep 3 heroes at top, and they wait for the lanes to come in, try and get a first blood, and then always want to fly is going to TP away, right? So, nice to see.
Just keeping an eye out here. Keeping an eye on a bunch of things. Them coming back into the game and me hoping that I don't have to puppy pause because they don't pause for me.
Oh, we're not pausing for you, dude. Yeah, you're.
It's a one and done. You're out. You're gone. I love the Silver Edge item for Slark.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that one.
Game. If he ever gets to it, at least, you know, against the Underlord, especially.
I'm at the well, actually, I'm at the cosmetic that he's holding. But yeah, Silver Edge is an item too.
Oh yeah, I also like the cosmetic is really nice. You're right.
How's it going? Mid 5 and 2 for the Doom, and 2 and 1 for Leshrac. Okay.
He's struggling a little bit. He had to last it under his tower on the Lesh because the Doom just pushed the wave in and used Devour on the range creep. So, Iceberg having a good start to the lane.
But that's what happened last time, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I enjoy watching Iceberg play, but there are definitely times like the last game that, you know, he kind of throws away that advantage by playing as aggressive as he does.
Radiant's courier.
Lane Misha.
Radiant's top tower
almost goes down. Roger does lose his courier though to, I don't know what it was. Oh, creeps under the tower. Oh, not again. We see this yesterday, I think.
I think so, yeah. Roger.
Radiant's
That's power shot.
Has been killed.
Now, always want to fly. He'll lose his courier over in the bottom lane, and that is to Era. I also want to know how involved Era's going to get, but always want to fly. He's getting low. Fortune's End thrown out at Era. An early kill onto this Rubik could be very good for VTune. It gives him an early point in that stolen Agi. Or not stolen, but just permanent Agi.
Yeah, really good start to the game for FlyToMoon so far. This mid lane especially is massively one-sided at the moment. Let's like 17-5 against the, like, what's it going to be, 9 and 2 of Lesh after this? Oh, he missed the creep. Oh, it's 8 and 2, never mind. Now he's going to have Devour for the Alpha Wolf as well, so that's going to help his mid lane CSing even more.
Yes.
Again, a good start for FlyToMoon. And we talked about how early you'd like to see Ninjas in Pajamas have a lead for this lineup to execute. Is it already looking problematic? Like, that may not happen?
I don't think so. Not massively. Like, obviously, you want your laning stage to be going better, right? Shackle Shot comes top as well. I mean, Cypher is taking a little bit of damage here. I don't think it's a massive problem. The mid lane is a problem. But like the side lanes are going okay.
Supreme having a last hit under his tower. Alright. He's got it.
I mean, as Lesh gets levels though, this lane obviously gets a little bit easier for him. Iceberg with the critical strike and the pack leader's aura. His CS thing's still fine. There's a DD that spawned top as well. They're going to fight for it.
Iceberg ends up getting it. They get the kill on Amisha up towards top. Stun lands. Diabolic doing a lot of damage on Iceberg. Supreme just going to run down Iceberg. Can't get the kill. Pops the salve on the high ground. So close to just killing off this Doom. VTune sits low, but he's past the salve from Always Want to Fly. Back up towards top. Charlie, he's in some trouble. Shackle doesn't land. Power Shot comes through, and he's just getting harassed heavily.
He's really getting bullied up in this top lane, isn't he?
Yeah.
This Underlord is starting to get levels down in the bot lane, though, so it's reaching the point now where he's doing that thing. You just shove out the lane. It's so much easier. So yes, the Slark's going to farm, but the Underlord should be absolutely fine down here as well.
Does that allow you to move away if you're Era and try to get involved somewhere else? Or does
Potentially, but where
Underlord
do
still
you
need
move?
your help?
Like, I don't know where you're supposed to... I mean, you could go top, maybe. He's probably just going to go and secure the bounty units for now, I imagine. Always want to fly.
Snag from Supreme. You always want to fly. He'll die to Saberlight.
What was that? I think you just... I think that was one of those deaths you just give away. Right? If Vici gets this rune here, this is big.
Telekinesis throws him back, but still pounces, grabs the bounty. He might be able to get the second one on the back. He doesn't even go for it, though. He'll go back towards the lane. End up being 2 for 2 once that bounty rune's picked up.
He's going to bring the boots for the Slark as well, which is nice. Vici going to try and pull through.
Yes.
And you just watch Saberlight as he's able to secure CS under the Firestorm.
Denied.
So,
Oh,
this Doom's had a really good start to the game, right? But he has level Doom at level 6. So sometimes what we see this hero do is they skip the ult entirely if they feel like they're not going to be able to use it to get kills. But the fact that he's taking it makes me think like he really wants to try and use this to make something happen on the map. So we might see a rotation from one of the Radiant supports come through mid soon to try and get a kill with the Doom link up.
I swear we've seen, like, even if the, you know, holding a point and maxing like 440, or at least trying to go that direction. Telekinesis and the Pit of Malice. Always want to fly. He's in some trouble. Gets locked up again. One more shot from Saberlight to get the kill down bottom. They take out the Oracle for the second time.
Yeah, and he has this extra damage to work with on the Underlord. Like, this Rubik's almost level 5 at 7 minutes into the game. He's having a really good time. Yes, he's taking some of the XP away from the Underlord, but it doesn't really matter. Saberlight's just at level 6 as well. Icepack's making this rotation over, but what does he get done with this?
Radiant structures.
If they move
are
forward,
fortified. Radiant's middle tower
probably
is under attack.
a kill into an Agi here.
Okay.
And they're going to go for Saberlight. He's so low. Started that Dark Rift really late. Goes into the trees. Oh, wow. Good little juke there through the maze of trees to stay alive. Supreme now comes down here, and it looks like Era's just kind of dangling himself.
That's so much wasted time as well. Yeah,
Here comes
Lesh might
Supreme,
get doomed
Dialogue
up,
Edict. Look at this. Era, if they land that stun, they get the kill. They still blow up Always Want to Fly. They can push this out and make V2 and Iceberg retreat. This works really well for Ninjas in Pajamas, and now they've got Saberlight back. He Dark Rifts back, TP's back in, and the Tier 1 tower is going to be pressured, if not killed, on this wave.
Oh, it's 100% dead. They have a catapult wave, and there's Edict level 4 on Lesh. I mean, this tower's gone. And you see the Slark just instantly TPs away mid. He's like, I mean, I can't do anything down here. Like, my tower's just gone. It's 8 minutes into the game. And there's an arcane rune that spawns bot as well. They really need to take that away from the Lesh. V-Tune's going to go over.
Is under attack.
Oh, that's nice.
So good right now from Ninjas in Pajamas to start this game off after what looked to be a pretty stagnant laning phase. But they're now just able to walk through the jungle. And they can probably focus that Tier 1 over mid.
I love that voice line, by the way.
I do too, but
I have
the
no
first
idea what
part
it
that's
means.
kind of whispering always makes me think production's in our ear. It confuses me.
Oh, they probably are, let's be real.
But I wouldn't mind like this. Both two of them. Bottom lane. Looking over at Always Want to Fly. Get the kill on the Oracle once again. 0-4 and 2 for Always Want to Fly already. I mean, this is big because they're holding him back from level 6 for a long time. And they now have level 6 for the Rubik.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they're having a really good time. And this lifesteal is not really getting touched top lane. He's going for this armlet as well, so... I don't know. Everything looking rosy right now. The question is, can they hit their timing that they need to as a lineup at like this 20-minute mark? Where they are really strong.
Keen Optic for Supreme. And now they'll go after Roger. Shackle doesn't connect. but he's able to push back the Harpy Stormcrafter just using a little bit of chain lightning.
This Harpy Stormcrafter is so dumb. Have you seen its mana regen?
Yeah, 4.4. It's
yeah.
gross.
Like, because he has Bassi as well on the Chen, so it's obviously normally a little bit low. I think it's like 3.5. Might be a little bit less than that, but I think it's 3 maybe. But anyway, basically you're like, oh, it's only got 125 mana and it costs 50. So you can't really spam people out of lane. And then you realise that it just has so much mana regen, so it doesn't matter.
Swashbuckle stolen by the Rubik. Let's see how he uses that.
Wish fulfilled.
I got the bounty runes, and it's 2 for 2. Philip for the bottle. Supreme getting very close to this Yules, which is going to help that control. And it will be a Yules for Saberlight as well. So, you know, working with that Yules in the Pit of Malice. I think right now Saberlight's just hoping for tier 2 items to come a little quicker so he can get himself a clumsy net, hopefully.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But they're forcing, look at this, they force the glyph. They're putting so much pressure on the tier 1 over mid. They've got 3 heroes here, and Ninjas of Pajamas not getting their foot off the gas yet. Because I think they need to be forced to get their foot off the gas. And it's not going to happen, you know, by themselves.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think when there's this massive downtime though, for FlyToMoon, when Nip aren't really doing anything at the moment, I think it does It does favour FlyToMoon like slightly, because this Doom is going to be the like farming quicker than anybody on the map, right?
Yeah.
And the Slark has this downtime where he can actually try and find his way back into the game. It's still all going to be about this timing and the first push that Nip can make where they really go as a unit. Like, you see Chen's trying to farm for this mech at the moment. He's almost got it, to be fair. Like, he's getting there. He's about 300 gold away, 400 gold away now.
They could probably, if he really wants to get it, they could go combine mid into the tower and like even push it that much more. But they take a look over. They go for Era. Rolling Thunder used. Shield Crash picked up by Era, so he's not able to Rolling Thunder his way out of there.
Get
the kill.
That was really well played by General, who recognising that the Rubik was going to try and steal Rolling Thunder, so just instantly used his Shield Crash.
Doom gets used on Leshrac and like... okay.
Not only does he get through that, he then gets an Arcane Rune, and he's like, oh, okay, well, this is fine.
Ooh, V-Tune getting forced back as well. I mean, damage coming in from Misha as well as Charlie definitely felt. And Supreme, like, I don't know. I feel like that Doom just being wasted opens up this game for Ninjas of Pajamas for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, especially because we were saying Chen's about to get mech. This is their power timing. This is the one they need to go for. But look at Iceberg's net worth on this Doom. Like, when he gets this BKB, this Lesh has to be scared. Like, all of the die have to be scared when he gets this BKB. He'll be the strongest hero on the map at that point.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's all about, do they have the damage output to fight during the Doom BKB duration and into this really big power spike that Nip are going to have.
Ooh, what they steal? Scorched Earth? That's always good for Arrow.
Yeah,
or good
nice.
for Rubik's.
Gives you the movement speed as well, which is really handy.
Deso next for the Lifestealer. As he continues to farm up. Still sitting ahead of the Slark, but, you know, I say that, and V-Tune going into the Diffusal Blade, he's farming up a Storm right now as well.
He's going BOTs on Lesh. Underlord's going to have Yules really soon. Chen's he's got the mech now. I don't think you can wait for this Lifestealer Deso. I honestly think you just have to go before.
You can leave Charlie to his own accord, I think.
But I think you want to group up and you want to take towers. You see, they're going to smoke up here. They want to play up towards Charlie in the top lane, I think. Yeah.
They can Dark Rift in, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. You can always be there as well. The Chen, I think, has he recalled anybody in? Yeah, he recalled the Leshin. Okay, so.
Ooh, and this is broken.
This is the other thing. So, I'll let the fight happen first, actually. But
Radiant's
I think something's going to go on
under
here.
attack.
I don't know if there's going to be a fight.
Okay, so the big thing is, you remember old Boots of Travel? When you played Lesh, you had that really good thing of building Boots of Travel and then TPing back to base and coming back into the fight again straight away. But you can't do that anymore because new BOTs has the same cooldown as your TP scroll. the Chen makes it completely different. So what happens is when he gets BOTs, not only is the movement speed nice, but he can BOT back to base when he gets low in a fight, and the Chen just instantly recalls him back in. And he has another full whack of mana to go again, and just output so much damage. Looks like they're gonna
pajamas. They've taken every tier one tower. This opens up the Radiant side pretty immensely. The question is, when do they want to start looking to fight with that general? Losing that shield, or not losing the shield crash, giving the shield crash over to Era. Never gets the Rolling Thunder off.
They're going to get 4 runes on Nip as well. They controlled this top half of the map really well there for the 15-minute mark, and Underlord's just pushing out bot. So,
but there's the BKB. So now, does the problem exist? You know, obviously this BKB, you're up by a lot of gold on this Doom, and I think that's what's keeping it close, because this game would be a 5k lead if Doom wasn't farming this well. Is the BKB enough? And I think these early charges are going to be very important for Iceberg, right?
Correct, yeah. Especially against Leshrac, you know, this hero that has so much magic damage. My worry is that, again, it's what I said in the draft, I don't know how they're supposed to get their damage output. Because even if they Doom somebody up, they have the Chen with the sustain, like we said, they have the Underlord with the Dark Rift, and they can just go again. So, yes, the BKB stops them from losing fights as hard, I think, but I still don't see how they win fights, and how they kill people. Like, Slark needs his items, and he's got drums, he's going to Fusel Blade next, and at that point maybe they can. This lifesteal is going to have Deso and 1,000 gold.
Bottom lane, taking a look, Underlord caught. They get the kill there onto Saberlight, who continues to try and force the issue. He's going into a Heaven's Halberd. I like that pickup.
Yeah. They did use the Doom as well, though, so
yeah, 2 minutes where Ninja's Pajamas might feel safe.
Exactly. They get a kill on the Underlord, but now, like you say, there's this massive window where Nip might feel like, yeah, we can just run at them and take towers. So I really hope they do. I don't want to see them just farming in the jungle and whatnot. Maybe they just feel like they haven't hit this timing that they want to hit yet. But when Lifestealer gets Deso, they're going to be really strong.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And it's up to the... I think Iceberg has to Doom Underlord every single fight. Because otherwise the Dark Rift comes out.
Regeneration.
And then my problem is you deal with the Lesh. Where if you Doom up the Underlord.
So here come the tier 2 items. If you're Underlord, your fingers are very much crossed for a clumsy net.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's not so great up against Slark, but it is very good up against Pangolier and Wind Ranger. So.
Oh my god.
There you go.
There it is. Your answers are right there in a clumsy net, but Charlie takes it. Okay. I mean, I think they just wanted it in general.
Back. He sends it back.
Oh, okay.
Saberlight gets it coming out straight away. He knows. And here's this timing that we're talking about. I think they're looking to group up there.
Tower is under attack.
That conversation probably consisted of, dude, seriously?
I mean, it's good on Lifestealer because the clumsy net doesn't hit him while he's raged. Obviously, with Underlords, yeah, very strong.
So Doom's on cooldown for another 38 seconds. They do have the Rolling Thunder. They pick up the Deso on the Lifestealer. They'll go for Roche. Roger should just power shot in here and spot that they're doing this. It's going down pretty quickly. They have 3 Centaurs to stomp if you come in. So it's not exactly that easy to just waltz your way into this. Pit of Malice comes down. Fortune's in onto Roger. It's not going to matter. They get the Aegis into the hands of Supreme. And that's a BKB charge used by Iceberg just to disengage.
It's not good. And the fact that they commit every hero to the pit there when they just don't get anything for it is really sad. Because like, if FlyToMoon there, they just give that Aegis away, but they're also split pushing their lanes at the same time. At least they're getting something off the map. But the fact they all walk over to the pit, they're not getting anything done in that time. Yeah, good fight for Nip. And they get the Aegis to work with him now. So the Doom, even less of a threat to the Lesh now because he's going to come back alive again.
Mm-hmm. Lifestealer disconnecting. Okay, the observers don't have the hero hunt up. I'm just going to find the heroes on my own then. Very quickly.
Right, I'll do
Very good at this. What am I looking for?
What was it? Centaur, I was going to say. Yeah, I didn't even look at what's supposed to be finding. Centaur top middle.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Second row. And then Underlord is bottom.
Oh, I mean, the people can't
second
see
row
this,
from
so I
the
don't know why
bottom
we're
right.
doing it, because the obs guy
Well, they'll just have to
it up.
close their eyes and hope. And Pegwayer's to the left of that. I got all
Right,
three.
okay, so if we just tell you where all the heroes are, guys, and then you can, yeah,
At home, play
Underlord's bottom
with your
right,
own
yeah.
chart. Yeah, and then to the left of that is
Yeah,
Pegwayer.
yeah. Oh,
Ooh, back up again.
here we go. New
no
one.
heroes.
Nice. Thanks, guys, for unpausing and then pausing straight away.
I appreciate that.
Axe right-hand side. Bristle just above him. Sven just to the left of him. There you go. Easy. Mo for R3. B cup nil. Let's move on.
They showed it with the observing. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. Hearts in the chat for all the production.
Very lovely people. And very good at their jobs. So, they're going to try and move on to this tier 2 tower bot now. They have the edict still, so this tower is just going to fall so quickly. They have the glyph on Radiant, so they will pop it.
Are fortified.
Yeah, but they forced
like-
the glyph, and it's like, we could just go back in a second.
Like, they're taking the top tier 1 in the meantime, but you see, look at the timer, like they're taking this tier 2. It's just before the 20-minute mark. And guess what happens when you take the tier 2s before the 20-minute mark?
Ooh,
You get the
I'm
outpost.
raising my hand.
You know?
I was going to say that.
No, you don't get time. They're just going to keep going. They want to force TPs back here. And you see Misha taking it over at the same time straight away. Everything's so smooth with how they've played this game so far. There's no glyph
Just
now.
going to
on
the high ground. Look at this
Radiant either.
rage. Good Malice coming down. That's going to be right onto the Pangolier. Shield crash. They've got the Centaur to hoof stomp him. So much damage, forcing the false promise very early into this fight. Supreme TP's out, and like you said,
He's bringing the Lesh
here
back.
he comes again. They're going to try and bring him back.
Oh, he
Use the hand to
can't!
go. They get the kill on Amisha, and now he can't. So Lesh gets left there. They still get the kill on the Pangolier. They look over at V2, and they're doing a lot of damage, but all of a sudden, Charlie losing his life. The man with the Aegis is back at home. And Arrow's going to fall too, so they knew on the side of FlyToMoon, focus the Chen, make sure the Leshrac can't come back. They spotted that immediately, did a very good job of making sure that, hey, your plan ain't gonna work.
And I 100% disagree with that as well, but... well, I say I 100% disagree with that. The problem is that Lesh has no mana to fight, right? And they know that he has Aegis. So if Lesh has no mana and he doesn't go back to base there, they're going to ignore him. All the time. And I think Nip are doing the right thing here. I think you just have to run at them again and go again. Because you know there's no Doom up now. And you really need to fight before Slark gets BKB. And it's online in like 600 gold. 700 gold. So...
Oh, Iceberg.
That's
They
no
might force
BKB.
BKB. Well, he doesn't actually have it for 10 seconds. Bit of Malice. Now they've got the clumsy net.
There's no mana though on Lesh.
again. Oh, jeez. They don't have false promise, and now the Leshrac, he's in too far. Alright, Aegis pop. Good for FlyToMoon. Now he's back to full mana. They're going to continue to run. He has a regen rune to work with.
Run at them again. They still have no glyph either, because remember they used it for the tier 2 before. Even if you only get a tier 3 here, this is still really good. But I think they want more.
They want to go for these buildings. They're going to try and play this advantage as much as they can. They've got the Pit of Malice keeping Charlie safe, as well as Supreme General without rolling Thunder for 40 seconds. So there's really no way into this fight for the side of FlyToMoon, though. Infest Supreme. So now he's got the HP regen. Back to the Diabolic Edict. This is a set of racks. And the Dark Rift to top. That second time around, much cleaner.
Much cleaner, but also at the same time, Rubik's stolen Shackle Shot. So this
How long
is
that gonna last?
It's a long time. If he gets 4 points in Arcane Supremacy before leveling up anything else here, the Shackle is going to be like 5 seconds. Like longer than that.
And that could be a 2-hero stun for that
40%.
one.
Yeah, it's just over 5 seconds actually.
Oh, look at that EU math right there.
I didn't give you an exact answer. Hello.
Oh, well. I was going to back you up either way. I always got your back. So, I just figured I'd preemptively strike.
Yes.
Charlie, he's just about got a Heaven's Halberd as well. Underlord, he's very close to his.
No.
20 gold.
Yeah, Slark has BKB though here. This is a massive time because they have double BKB. Iceberg has Shivas as well. They want to run at them. They want to use this timing to find something and make it happen. Because although Nip have been like had their moment this game where they're really strong, this Slark doesn't care about the Lesh when he has a
Dire
10-second
are
BKB.
scanning.
So they want to make the most of it. Question is, can they? Hero's doing a really good job of just not showing himself up in this top lane.
They just don't get anything out of that smoke. This is only a 2k lead, but it feels like so much more. Oracle really doesn't have much of anything.
You see Roger.
Oh, they'll find Roger, but then VTune, he's right over! Pitamalis is down, the BKB's been popped by VTune, they go after Roger, they're trying to get the kill on the Windrunner, they're doing a lot of damage to start this one off, they've used the Doom.
So
That came out onto the Underlord, Rolling Thunder comes through, they've infested into Supreme, Supreme's in some trouble, he needs some help, Infest ends up popping, but now VTune, he's only held alive thanks to the False Promise, they get the kill on Charlie, good Pitamalis, but it just feels too late. They'll try to Dark Rift away, Shackle thrown to the Slark, Yule's up into the air, they've disarmed this Doom, and they'll leave him be as they go back to base. Good fight there from FlyToMoon.
great BKB reveal. That's massive for them. Because now they can open up the map a little bit more, like you say, get some control over these like towers and things. This Slark built up 20 stacks in that fight. You can see he's actually able to get his damage off now. So my worry for them before was, are they able to get to a point in the game where the Slark can do damage? And they've got there now. Everyone's in trouble. Oh,
They're gonna go for the Underlord, Pitamalis down. Roots up 2. They've got the clumsy net now onto the Doom, under the tier 2
Lesh is
tower.
up in 1.
They kill him, back into the Pitamalis. They're controlling Iceberg quite a bit. They want to continue forward. Supreme joins them once again.
Bounty.
So it's the BKB that durations that really helped him out there, right? So do you just have to kind of find ways to pop these BKBs if you're Ninjas of Pajamas, or where's your go-to here now that you know that Slark has a BKB and it's 9 seconds?
I think Lifestealer really needs a Halberd, and Lesh like massively needs a BKB now at this point. Because you saw how much damage he was taking, not just from the Slark, but he has like Diffusal, there's the magic damage from that, there's the General Pangolier as well coming through with the Rolling Thunder. Like, even though he popped the Bloodstone heal, he still just melted really quickly. Look at the net worths of the cores now on the Radiant side. It's very much like last game again, where the FlyToMoon cores are on top, but the NIP supports are just a little bit more farmed.
Yeah, I mean, not even a little bit. It's a 4k difference between Chen and the Oracle. The Oracle has Treads while Chen has Guardian Greaves and going into a Ghost Scepter. Era, nothing stolen yet. Still just level 1 on the ult. Blink 4 staff for him. Is this pace right now okay for Ninjas of Pajamas? You know, are you just trying to look for this BKB for Supreme and potentially another Roche?
I think you don't have a choice but to slow the game down now and wait for your BKB on Lesh. I think obviously they would love to be fighting, but the Slarks managed to achieve so much in the last 10 minutes that it's really difficult for them now. I think they have to respect the damage output that FTM have.
They've got the Halberds. They need to check Roche, right?
Yeah, they could, but I don't think they can fight Roche. I mean, they will, if they have to, they will, but ideally they're kind of waiting for FlyToMoon to make the move, I think. See, they're just holding the high ground at the moment.
Great scam by the Dire, though. Know exactly where they are. I mean, the Slark kind of gives it away there. But.
Isn't that better?
General's got the Zags, too. Era coming over. Pitamalis BKB's been popped by Iceberg. Who's he going to doom? He dooms up the Underlord. Now they've got themselves the Shackle on Era. Era looking like he's going to go down. They'll lose the Rubik first. General coming in with the Rolling Thunder, using that Shield Crash, throwing out those Swashbuckles. Gets on top of the Underlord. They get the kill into 3. They'll take out Saberlight, Nisha, and Era. They'll look over at Supreme, doing a lot of damage onto the Slark, who's been disarmed. Now they've got the Infest that will pop. They get the kill into Supreme. They've taken on to 4th. They go for Charlie. This could be very devastating if they get the kill onto this Lifestealer. He rages, and and
Wow.
TPs from the racks to home.
That fight looked okay for Nip at the first because they managed to force the Doom BKB out really early, right? And Era managed to steal Doom, but he got shackled to the tree just as he did, so he died before he could get the Doom off. Like, if the Rubik manages to Doom up the Slark there before he dies, I think the fight's completely different. But Vichu's just able to freely do whatever he wants the whole fight duration. And yeah, with the 21 stacks that he stole, they now just head into Roche. And there's almost an MKB on Wind Ranger as well.
Your Shan has fallen.
He just
into the
picked
ring.
up, and I think if you're Ninja's Pajamas, you have to concede on that fight. You can't even risk going in. Bottom lane, I will say. Creeps pushing in.
Yeah, they are, but only really
About
matters
to
when
get
they
a
start hitting
building.
the tier 4s, you know?
Putting some chip damage on there.
Sure.
170 damage.
Wow, unhealable.
Massive, massive amounts of unrecoverable damage.
That's a nice item for the Lesh. He actually not take the Quickening Charm for himself, just keeping growth though. I guess the Magic Amp's really nice. Okay.
Does Era take the Quickening Charm?
I think he wants the Optic still. But the cast range is really nice on that hero. Yeah, he did take Quickening Charm. Oh, he's taking Titan Sliver on Lesh. Okay. That's pretty good as well. You could give the Quickening Charm to the Chen maybe or something.
So down to 9 charges for the Shrek on that Bloodstone. Never a good feeling. Iceberg shows himself mid. He'll scorch Earth, but they don't want to chase any further. V-Tune coming in from the side has the break. Now they've got the telekinesis. I almost feel like Ninja's Pajamas are hoping that they'll pop a BKB, but the Inferno Blade comes out an arrow. They get the kill onto this Rubik. They'll take him out. They look over at Charlie, now trying to run. Goes into the Rage, in some trouble. Infest, Dark Rift, tries to get out. He's been leashed up, doomed up. Can they get out in time? No! Power shot from Rogers on the money. BKB's been popped by V-Tune, and he's down to 7 seconds, but you've lost this Leshrac for him, or you've lost the Lifestealer for a minute.
What can I say? Nature
Yeah,
loves me.
they can't really deal with this Slark right now. I mean, he's just in their faces
Dire's
all the
middle
time,
tower
right?
Has fallen. Radiant
Doing
are
whatever he
scanning.
likes. Yeah, like without the Lifestealer for 40 seconds, I think they just carry on here. They still have Aegis, remember, as well.
Supreme, I don't think he knows that people are coming behind him to look for this kill. He's got a haste, so he's got a way to cut the distance. But not if he stays in the neutral camps. Roger in general, now you've got the swashbuckle and he just dies.
Are fortified.
Wow. I mean, this MKB does so much damage. I don't think Supreme was expecting that to happen. And look at this net worth graph as well. Look how quickly it's just gone in FlyToMoon's favour after this really good fight they had bot lane where they took the racks before on Nip. Wait for their timings on FlyToMoon. They didn't push themselves too far, and as soon as the Slark gets BKB, it's all been one-way traffic.
Can they bring it back is the question.
Slark's BKB's getting lower, so it gets a little bit easier, but this Lesh has been farming BKB for like at least 10 minutes now. But he's still not got it.
He's so close too. Get a Malice. Dark Pack, Roger coming over. Shackle lines up, but okay, doesn't land. They still get the kill. It doesn't matter.
Doom has an AC. Jesus.
Doom's BKB is 5 seconds.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, right? Because he's so tanky now with the AC and the Shivas. He's sitting on 39 armor BKB. He doesn't need more than a 5-second
Dire's
BKB,
bottom
I don't
tower
think.
is under
The
attack.
only time he uses his BKB is when the Lesh runs it in. And then he's like, fine, aside from that.
Armor schmarmer. But not really. That's a lot of armor.
Dire's middle tower.
They've broken the high ground now. Fade Bolt's continuing to come out.
Dire's bottom
As
tower
the Quickening
is under
Charm has been
attack.
picked up by this Rubik. So yet to spot anything he'd like to steal. And they're going to lose racks. I think luckily for them, they've got tier 2s in the side lane, so.
And this Aegis is still online for about a minute or so for the
Dire's bottom
Slark.
tower is under attack.
I'd be interested to see what he goes next. Yeah, I was going to say, does he want to go Skadi or Satanic? I feel like he needs a HP item. I don't know which one, but he just decided to go Satanic.
Dire's
So.
bottom tower has fallen.
I feel like the Skadi's really good against the Lesh though with the 50% move speed slow, because it's a ranged hero. Might change his mind yet.
And they force the BKB or just get the kill on Vichun. Whoa. They annihilated him. And they line up the stun. Vichun saved by the false promise. BKB's been popped by Iceberg. He's now got the Octarine Cord. They have a BKB on Supreme still? Yeah, they do. So they could really chase if they find the right pickoff. I'm just not fast enough.
He's really quick as well. Oh, I think they didn't quite see Always Want to Fly there on the Oracle, unfortunately. Otherwise, they might have carried on going. But
Late Aegis that they got killed. Not the worst, worst thing in the world.
again, Slark BKB now down to 7 seconds, so...
Dire are scanning.
I think the game isn't, like, obviously the game's really bad for Nip. Like, FlyToMoon are so far ahead at this point, but the Lesh does a lot of damage still. So.
Okay, Rolling Thunder used. I feel like that opens opportunity here for Ninja Pajamas.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And Blink, Telekinesis, they know they don't have the false promise. That's actually on cooldown for another 25 seconds. They've got the Swashbuckle coming in for General. Charlie needs to back off. V2 coming in. Rage looking for it. There's the break. And the stun on the Slark, but the Dark Pact is there. Swashbuckle gets the stun. Supreme backing off. They're still trying to chase. Iceberg moving so fast. 437 movement speed there. And he's trying to catch up.
He has an Octarine, have you noticed?
Yeah, he got it as they were retreating in the last fight.
Doom's now on a 94-second cooldown because of the quickening charm as well. Insane.
That's disgusting. What's the lowest you've ever seen Doom on cooldown?
Question, I don't know, actually. I mean, obviously you can get Spell Prism as well, so it gets a little bit lower.
I think that makes it like 80-something, right? I think that's the lowest I've seen it. 19k lead, but again, like, you catch one person out of position and Ninja's Pajamas can make you pay.
You have to respect
going BKB on the low track either, right?
I mean, we've seen Nip holding this high ground yesterday with the Underlord. There's no reason they can't do it again. So
yep,
you do have to respect them, like you were saying. Going high ground is difficult. Like Doom, Slark aren't natural tower hitters, not the same way as the Leshes. He gets that. He actually eats a speed creep on the Doom, so we're even quicker now.
392 movement speed. Scorched Earth giving him 25%, so he's probably at about 500 with it. Still 479. They've got the stun, and they get this kill and always want to fight. I mean, they forced out the false promise. I think that in itself is actually pretty worth it. They've dusted him up. They've got the control. And at the end of the false promise, he'll end up dead. Dead for 50 seconds. Roche minimum spawn timer is 26 seconds away.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if it's a really quick Roche spawn, that's probably worth it. But if not, I mean, Always Want to Fly will be more than happy with that. Just giving his life away there for the smoke. He almost has a 4-staff as well, actually. And he just commit for Satanic on the Slark. Okay.
Roger's gained a lot of net worth recently.
Misha.
He was sitting below. And that'll hit General. He's got that Abyssal Blade to continue to jump on top of this Chen. Misha trying to get away, use the Guardian Greaves. They've disarmed the Slark. They go after him. They throw the open wounds. But he's able to disengage.
Trying to make sure they find the right opening on both these teams.
Iceberg. He's got BKB. They've got the Telekinesis. They follow this up. Do they have the damage? It looks like they do, even with the BKB.
So quick.
Ooh, just escapes 100 health. But the BKB is now down. V-Tune coming in. They were looking for the Shackle to follow that up. They go on the Chen. He doesn't have Guardian Greaves for 9 seconds, but the Hand of God! Oh, the 4-staff back stays alive. Just barely off.
What a Shackle
on a Charlie as well as Supreme. They're looking for the Dark Rift out, but I don't know if they have the time to get the kill on Misha. They look over at Rubik. They get the kill on Era, and now the rest are gone. That was quick damage. Roger pops his BKB. That's down to 9 seconds. V-Tune pops his as well. That's down to 6. You have Chen up in 35, Rubik up in 40, and Roche up in 20.
Yeah, that was really well played by Saberlight. He got doomed up, but got the Dark Rift off just before. It was really close, so...
Ags now for this Doom. He is so farmed.
This break is going to be really good against the Underlord as well. It stops the Atrophy Aura coming through with the damage reduction, so...
Dire's top tower
Keeps pushing
is
in
under
bottom
attack.
for a split second. Saying, what's up, General? How are you?
Havoc Hammer, so nice home.
He'll hold it. Springboard Shiva's next.
Oh god, there's an illusionist cape. Start. He's almost level 25 as well. Jesus.
Yeah, nobody even close to 25. The experience difference is actually massive. 30,000. Oh my god.
Pretty insane. But I mean, Nip were 5-manning a lot more early on than FlyToMoon were, so that's probably where it comes from. Oh,
Ooh.
Relic for the Lesh.
That's great.
Oh, they
But
gave it to
passes
Underlord.
it off.
I think you take that on Lesh, do you not? Wow, they are giving it to the Underlord.
Maybe after they know that this Ags exists on the Doom, they'll swap.
I mean, obviously it's really good with Pit of Malice, but they are just going to head into Roche here, though. Do Radiant know this is going on? They must do, surely.
Yeah, the courier's right there.
Yeah, exactly. But now, Nip know that they know because they saw the courier, and they're going to wrap around here.
Shiva's coming out. Charlie moving forward. They've got the Pit of Malice. BKB's been popped by Iceberg. They'll get the Doom out. That's out onto the Underlord, so they've doomed him up. They'll look for the Inferno Blade. They look over at
Soul and Doom.
trying to stay alive with the Guardian Greaves. He's got 1 second till the Hand of God. Pops it. Fortune in deep, using the Shadow Dance. They get the kill on Amisha. They look over the Rolling Thunder is coming in from General. They get the kill on Atari. They're taking out the Lifestealer. Down goes the Rubik. Down goes Leshrac. Supreme trying to survive with the Bloodstone. Maybe I'm wrong, but most likely not, as he ends up dead there. Dark Rift away. Triple kill for Vichu.
I don't know if you noticed that there from Vichun. He used this again. Rubik stole Doom, and it looked like it was going to be really good. But Vichun happening, and he knew that the Rubik had stolen it, so you Shadow Dance just as he saw the Rubik about to cast it on him. That was insane.
Saberlight. I don't know if he can get into the base.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And this is
They're gonna
why
buy back on these heroes. Yeah.
this is the kind of dominance I expected from FlyToMoon coming into this series. And when I say dominance, I don't mean necessarily winning at all points in the game, but understanding how they needed to play their draft, and really executing their game plan well. Because yes, they lost that Rax really early into the game. I think it was like 22 minutes or something. But they understood how much stronger they were going to get when Slark got BKB, and they hit their timing hard. They got that Roche really early on Nip, but it just didn't matter. The Slark just became a force that they couldn't deal with at all. And like Slark in a quarter-core matchup against Lifestealer in the late game is always going to come out on top.
And you look at the end of the game, the net worth, where it's at 28,000.